If y'all love black people, like this, comment, and share if y'all love black people.
Nós não faz. Cheirando a tchu no meu pano, tô virgulado. Invejoso babando ovo pra vir parar do meu lado. E o que? Puxando na risca os que desacreditou, cadê? Mais um passo calmo, sai de frente, nós não é de render. Então faz a ligação, arrasta essas mina todinha. Que o trem bala chegou, cê tá com a tropa do inglês. Vários perfumes no armário, chamaram escudo de novinha. Nós que manda nas esquinas, cê que agita essas festinhas. Cheirando
Z, Zem, Zer. Z, Zem, Zer.
Simple ways to be inclusive in the classroom, part 2. So this one is about pronouns. Now I'm going to start with a preface that you should be talking to your students about pronouns. Everyone has a pronoun, and you shouldn't be assuming what they are. Just like you shouldn't assume what someone's name is, right? Like if I went up to you and I was like, hey, George, and you're like, no, my name's Kyle. And I said, no, it's George. And you were like, no, it's Kyle. And then I responded by saying, no, I can tell by the way that you look that you're a George. That would be ridiculous. And that's how ridiculous you sound when you assume people's pronouns. But I figure that anyone following my page already knows that and is already talking about pronouns with their students. So the real tip on how to be more inclusive in your classroom is to stop calling them preferred pronouns. That's horrible. My pronouns aren't a preference. I don't prefer that you call me she, her. It's not a preference, it's my gender. Please respect it. They are my pronouns. They are not my preferred pronouns. They are my pronouns. So in your classroom, just start calling them pronouns. Stop using the word prefer as if, your gender is a preference. It's not.
When you wipe your tears, do you wipe them just for me? Do you wipe them just for me? Screaming, crying.
Did this man just describe me like a car? Because I've done it a lot.
So that's her video reply to a man who has compared her to used cars because she has slept with men. I don't think we need to further argue about the fact that women are objectified habitually. But second, the man who commented that is the embodiment of toxic masculinity. He is deeply insecure about his sexual performance, and since he equates his sexual performance with his manhood, he is feeling deeply threatened. In patriarchy, sex is not understood as a partnership. It is understood as performance and a way to maintain gender hierarchy. That's why we use words like body count, a word that implies dominance. A man's role in sex is that he's supposed to know what he's doing. That's why a man accumulating his sexual experiences with many women is almost considered praiseworthy amongst men and normal. Now, when women start to have more experiences with sex, she also accumulates knowledge about sex, what she likes and what she doesn't like, and she's more able to accurately gauge a man's sexual performance. She also becomes vocal in bed. All of that is very threatening to a man who is clinging onto his toxic masculinity as part of his manhood. She is not supposed to know more than him about sex. She is not supposed to judge him on his sexual performance. That disrupts the gender hierarchy, in which women and non-binary individuals are supposed to just submit to men. Little does the commenter know that he's just hurting himself, because putting the burden of good sexual performance all on men, that's a lot of pressure for men. That's why feminists keep saying, listen man, sex is collaboration, communication, and a mutual experience. But they don't want to listen.
Adolescent girls are shamed for aging when their maturity threatens male dominance and coerced into aging when it absolves boys of developing emotional maturity. I think this simultaneous coerced maturation and societal infantilization of teenage girls grooms them to be women who play an indispensable role under patriarchy, which is women who mother men and are also controlled and sexually desired by them. Like, parents and institutions will sexualize adolescent girls and say, don't show your shoulders shoulders, don't show your thighs, boys might get ideas. Girls are taught to be the bigger person when they're teased or harmed by boys because girls are just more mature. This gives girls a false sense of accomplishment and contributes to a dynamic where women take care of men in a way that will never be reciprocated. And at the same time, girls are shamed for having body hair and pressured to shave, which has its roots in pedophilia and dominance. Anything they like is trivialized and infantilized because it's girly. Further intersectional analysis is definitely warranted, but I thought I'd start.
This is your daily reminder that if you do not respect fat women, you do not respect women. The respectability of women in your mind should not be flexible. Women are respectable because women are respectable. Instead of trying to find reasons why you shouldn't respect her, find reasons to respect her. But let's also talk about women's bodies. Donald Trump claims that he loves women. What he really means is that he loves females, the reproductive, biological, and sexual functions of women. So providing sex for him and having the abilities to bear his children. So to him, women's bodies are literally women because his understanding of women is a reduction of women to female bodies. So to people like Donald Trump, there is nothing more important than what a woman's body looks like when he sees a woman. Because to him, that's what a woman is, her body. That's all. He doesn't care about her soul. He doesn't care about her mind. He doesn't care about her opinions. He just cares about what her body can do for him. Misogyny. Respect fat women. Also part 2 coming soon.
Hello and welcome to the non-restrictive and safe part of TikTok. Today I'm just going to do a random what I eat in a day. It's a Saturday, I've slept in, and I'm starting my day off with a cup of coffee.
For breakfast today I'm having an English muffin with butter, and then I also made my favorite smoothie right now, which is the blueberry mango banana smoothie.
For lunch today I used a tortilla hack from TikTok and made a turkey wrap, and then I have some cucumbers and tzatziki.
I feel like I constantly forget about cucumbers and then rediscover them, and they're just so good, so fresh, so crunchy. What is my hair doing? I don't know. I just love them so much.
As a little lunch dessert, I'm just having these sea salt caramels. I'm also gonna have some of these before dinner. You are allowed to snack. Even while you're making another meal, it's perfectly okay.
It was Saturday, so we played some beer pong, and then later I made some homemade bread, some spaghetti with meat sauce, and then I also finished the night with some Cheetos.
Please don't do this. That is not a compliment.
The sentiment about East Asian women specifically is the basis of Asian hate.
Having a thing for Asian women gets us killed.
The idea that we are objects to be desired erases our humanity and compels people to either desire us or resent us.
But never to respect, appreciate, or understand us.
Everything we say and do must not be placed in the framework of men desiring us. You need our consent before we live in your head as a fantasy.
And you do not have it. These micro attitudes about Asian women aggregate to one day people shooting us.
Please, do not do this. This is not an attack on the original content creator. We can't allow these ideas to continue to perpetuate to the next generation.
So this video was made with love. And we're calling in this young gentleman before it gets any worse.
Stop Asian hate. Stop Asian hate.
Stop Asian hate.
Okay, so I'm literally going to log off and turn off my phone directly after I make this video, but I just want to say something. If you can't handle having someone, a woman of color at that, me, critique someone who's a white woman who you have a parasocial relationship with because you don't know them, they don't know you, they're not your friends. If you can't handle a woman of color critiquing someone and having literally hundreds of women of color also agreeing with that person, I'm genuinely afraid for the women of color in your life. I am genuinely afraid for the women of color in your life because I'm just some random woman on the internet, okay? And some of you have gotten so defensive and downright dirty in the comments section of that other video, being vicious. And how are you gonna call yourself an ally if you can't even listen to some random bitch on the internet? Period per. How are the women of color in your life going to feel comfortable coming to you about their issues and what they're facing or your own racism if you can't do it?
So I had this bitch over last night. You had this bitch over last night? Yeah, I had this bitch over last night. What's the problem? Where do I start?